Right now, on to the point. A controversial meeting at a library abruptly ends, where free speech rights violated, creating a greener capital city, what Sacramento leaders want to change next, and why childcare costs could go up even more.
Good evening. This is To the Point. I'm Alex Bell. Over the last 72 hours, a controversial meeting at a library was abruptly ended. A bomb threat targeted the same library, and local sheriff's office is now in the middle of an investigation. Our Jeannie Nguyen is live at the Mary L. Stevens Library in Davis, walking us through what happened. Jeannie?
Alex, that bomb threat here at this library was just that, a threat, because the Yolo County Sheriff's Office wasn't able to find any evidence of any explosives. Now, we did talk to a parent who went to that controversial meeting on Sunday, and she tells me she has no idea who was behind that bomb threat, but that she is disappointed that the meeting got shut down prematurely.
I will give you one warning on that.
It was a packed room at the Mary L. Stevens Library on Sunday when the group Moms for Liberty Yolo County held their meeting.
Losing our rights to privacy, dignity, and safe sports.
A mom of two, Allie Schneider, was at the meeting and was in line to speak. The group called the meeting a fair and safe sports for girls, alongside a discussion about transgender students participating in sports.
Physical damage being done right now to girls and women who are forced to share their single-sex spaces with men and boys who call themselves women.
But within 10 minutes, Schneider says library staff kicked them out.
I'm asking you to leave.
Got completely drowned out and shoved out by the library official.
The group continued at a nearby park, but Schneider says she believes the library violated their rights to free speech.
It seems like they continue to put up roadblocks to keep us from, again, exercising our First Amendment rights.
Then on Monday afternoon, Davis Police and the Yolo County Sheriff's Office got a tip about a potential bomb threat at the same library.
It made a specific statement saying that the library was going to blow up at 3 p.m. And it made some type of a derogatory term towards the LGBTQ community.
About 10 library employees were evacuated as law enforcement searched the building.
And no explosives were located.
We asked the sheriff's office if there is any possibility the bomb threat and the Moms for Liberty meeting were linked.
We don't know if there's any link to it at this time.
For Schneider, she says she has no idea who's behind the bomb threat and tells us she does not support that type of response. However, she does have a stern message for county officials.
We all have a First Amendment right, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of belief.
Now, right now, the sheriff's office tells me that they do not have a suspect. We also did try to reach out to the library for comment, but the county librarian never responded to my calls. Alex, back to you.
Thanks, Jeannie. Now, legally, when it comes to a situation like this, where we have a public building like a library where a meeting is taking place, does anyone have the authority to remove people from having that meeting? We asked criminal and civil attorney Mark Reichel, who is not connected to the situation, to weigh in on this.
According to the Constitution, according to the Supreme Court, a library is where you get access to information. It's not necessarily a public meeting place, so they can have reasonable regulations. You can't have people coming in there without clothes on. You can't have people sleeping in there. You can't have anything that harasses others. And so viewpoint is often not something that you can regulate and consider that to be reasonable unless it's deemed harassing to others.
Now, Mark adds that rules should be hard and fast, and they should be written down for everyone to understand them. Then they should also be applied evenly and fairly. In other news, a Stanislaus County custodial deputy is accused of sexual acts with an inmate. 45-year-old Jonathan McClure was placed on administrative leave earlier this month. He posted bail after his arrest yesterday. A man is dead following a shooting and crash near the Sacramento-Placer County line. Largo Road was shut down for hours this morning. Investigators are trying to figure out if road rage or drugs were involved. Two people gave statements at the hospital this morning. Governor Newsom is calling on the Supreme Court to uphold a ban on domestic abusers' rights to own guns. A case on the issue is being heard by the court following a federal appeals court decision. California has laws that allow domestic violence victims to get protective orders to prohibit their abusers from having guns. The governor says that 45 states have similar laws. And 4 people in Stanislaus County now have West Nile virus and have developed a neurological illness. West Nile is contracted when an infected mosquito bites a person, and the virus cannot spread from person to person, and there is no vaccine. Dead birds can also carry the virus, and spraying for West Nile, it continues across several communities. If you do want to report dead birds or learn more about the virus, we put a link up, fightthebite.net. It's on our website right now on abc10.com/tothepoint. And right now, you are taking a live look at tonight's city council meeting in downtown Sacramento. The big agenda item tonight is about creating a greener capital city. Public comment is underway right now, and our Luke Cleary is live with more on what this means.
Hey, Alex. Yeah, the City Council is hearing public comment on the Climate Action and Adaptation Plan, or CAP for short. It's a document that spans some 300 pages long, so lots of different plans inside that document. But to boil it all down, what they want to do is create a carbon neutral city by the year 2045, and that would, by cutting greenhouse gases and adopting more zero emissions transportation, for one thing, replacing the city fleet with electric vehicles. And as summers get hotter, there are also plans to plant more trees and improve the city's tree canopy by some 35% by 2045 as well. And then there's the Central City Mobility Project, creating safer places for bicyclists to ride. We spoke to bikers who say that's a worthwhile investment.
For the climate change, about the only solution I can say is right here. I'm not burning any gasoline. And to get on your bicycle, if you're not doing it, start doing it one day a week.
So there's a fan of the new bike lanes and bollards that you've probably seen if you've been around downtown. The city reports that it spent $15.5 million to put in separated bikeways over 70 blocks. That's 8 miles worth of bikeways. Now, if anybody watching this wants to weigh in on the public comment, there is still time. The city staff still requesting public comment until tomorrow, but the conversation will certainly continue beyond that, Alex.
All right, Luke, thank you. And Luke, we'll have more on the proposed changes coming up tonight on Late News Tonight at 11. More than 200 pounds of electronic waste sat on the state capitol's steps today. This represents the amount of electronics that are thrown away by Californians every 5 seconds. Environmental groups and lawmakers are calling for the passage of the Right to Repair Act. The legislation aims to reduce electronic waste by making repairs easier and cheaper. Next, on To The Point, mudslides and rock slides, a clearer picture at what Hillary left behind.
Now that's moving off to our east, sunshine and warmer weather highs making it back to near 90. This is the beginning of our warming trend.
And why child care costs could go up even more. Tropical storm Hillary continues its march out of California. It brought record-breaking rainfall to Southern California, flooding roads, mudslides, and rock slides. Residents continue to dig out of the mud in Cathedral City near Palm Springs.
The news pounded it and pounded it and pounded it, and people stayed in. The worst part was here on this street. It's called Coble. It took on thigh-high water.
A 5.1 magnitude earthquake also shook Southern California during Hillary. There have been no reports of significant damage or injuries, but Monica, it goes to show, California is a land of the extremes.
It certainly is. Yeah, no, and normally we deal with that kind of weather during the winter, but this was just an anomaly where we were dealing with it during the middle of summer here. And as you can see, the remnant still moving its way through the Intermountain West. Locally, we had dry conditions, the sunshine returning, but those flood watches are still out for parts of the West. Again, locally, we're dry. We don't have anything to worry about in terms of any more precipitation, but look at the 36-hour rainfall totals. Nearly half an inch for downtown Sacramento, about 0.2 of an inch for Grass Valley, Placerville, and Oroville, and Fairfield squeezing out about 6/100ths of an inch of rain. That is well above almost anything we ever see in the month of August for the entire month, let alone one day. Highs for today, 90 degrees. So we're starting to see that warming weather move back into the outlook. That after yesterday's high of 82, average high 92 degrees. Tonight, beautiful night. to head outdoors if you have an opportunity to enjoy a walk, a bike ride, getting the dogs or the kids out. You can see temperatures will be staying near 80 right through 9 p.m. and then falling eventually into the 60s for those overnight lows. We've got that high pressure ridge building back in the forecast. It will add to some stability, meaning less thunderstorm action for the high country, and some heat building in our forecast for the middle of the week. Highs in the 70s tomorrow for this year, 80s and 90s down the hill. Across the coast, we've got highs in the 70s. Move inland, we are getting close to 100 for that midweek outlook, and we're going to stay there pretty close to 100 for the next couple of days. Highs in the upper 90s to right around 100 through Thursday, dropping as we head into our last weekend of August. And next week, well, it's going to be the unofficial last week of summer, because Friday, for many of us, kicking off that long holiday weekend leading into Labor Day, Alex.
All right, thanks, Monica. Next, on To the Point. Child care costs are on the rise and things could get worse. Welcome back. A wildfire disaster continues in eastern Washington state. At least 2 people are dead and hundreds of buildings are destroyed. This is new video showing flames exploding as they destroy tall trees. This is from one of 2 fires burning not far from Spokane. The Oregon Road Fire and Gray Fire have burned tens of thousands of acres as firefighters try to get the upper hand on these flames. And the death toll continues to rise in Hawaii. New video inside the firefight shows just how overwhelmed firefighters were in battling the fire in Lahaina. Yesterday, President Biden traveled to Maui from Lake Tahoe. He told Hawaiians the federal government will do everything possible to help people recover. But there are growing questions around Maui County's response. People faced clogged evacuation routes. The ABC station in Hawaii, KITV, interviewed the mayor on their 6 p.m. broadcast on the day of the fires.
I'm happy to report that the road is open to and from Lahaina, Hokiokio Road.
The mayor appeared to be unaware that a half hour before this taping, evacuees had already ran into the water to escape the flames. 115 people now confirmed dead. Hawaii's governor says hundreds of people remain missing. Some survivors have been reunited with their families through DNA samples. FEMA says about 2,000 residents have been placed in hotels. And now a new school year is underway on Maui. Thousands of kids displaced by the fire are on wait lists for other schools. The preparation for this school year is unprecedented. Teachers and staffers, some who lost everything themselves, are trying to make this school feel like home away from home.
It's really about normalcy for them and loving them and welcoming them if we can.
I'm just super blessed to be here.
It's just better to know that things will get better.
And if you would like to help people on Maui, you can continue to donate to the Red Cross. We have a link on our website, abc10.com/tothepoint. And I want to mention that you at home have helped raise more than $17,000. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The cost of living seems to get more and more expensive. Car prices may be now hitting a new tipping point for buyers. Right now, there's just one new vehicle starting at less than $20,000. The Mitsubishi Mirage. And if you're looking at higher end cars, about 30 car models now have started above $100,000. I will say I was a little shocked to hear that one. And mortgage rates, they continue to rise. The average rate is now somewhere between 7 and 7.5%. A year ago, the 30-year fixed rate was a little over 5%. But there are some things that you can do to try to get lower lending rates. Make sure that you save up for a larger down payment. Lenders tend to give lower interest rates to those who have pay high down payments. Also see if you're eligible for government-backed loans like those designed for veterans or first-time home buyers. And then also, you can always improve your credit score. Meanwhile, inflation is showing signs of slowing down across the country, but things do not look so good for parents looking for childcare. The Labor Department says that daycare costs are rising at about twice the rate of inflation, costing parents more than $10,000 per child every year. Part of the problem, many daycare locations shut down during the pandemic.
You go park the van, go park the truck.
More than half of Americans rely on daycare for their children. Over the past few years, many have scrambled to find help after learning their daycare was abruptly closing.
We were notified on a Tuesday that Friday would be our last day. Really, the abruptness of how quickly these places can get shut down for various reasons has been the biggest struggle with childcare.
The Eisenhower's daycare relied partially on childcare assistance from their state, but it wasn't enough. They say this was their third daycare center in 2 years.
It's a really scary feeling, and then you have to scramble for care and hope that whoever you find is a reliable and trustworthy person to care for your kids.
$50 billion in relief funding from Congress allowed childcare programs across the country to rebound after the pandemic. But most of those funds will expire in September. That could cause many families to lose access to childcare.
Childcare businesses are going to be put into a position of having to either raise fees on parents or lower the wages of their childcare teachers, and that will likely lead to more teachers leaving the field.
The cost of childcare is on the rise, up more than 14% over the last 5 years, with the average cost per child almost $11,000 per year.
In this country right now, childcare businesses are relying almost entirely on parent fees to cover those high costs, and in many places around the country are paying more than their mortgage or rent for childcare for an infant.
Many states, including California, are passing their own legislation. The state budget this year is offering free childcare or preschool to many families and increases childcare workers' pay. One report found that childcare often costs more than a quarter of a household's income.
When families don't have reliable childcare, they're more likely to be absent from work. They're less likely to be focused and as productive. So it is really beneficial for families to have high quality childcare, but it's equally beneficial for businesses.
I've gone through sleepless nights worrying about where I'm going to be able to send my kids. So fortunately, my kids got to go spend time with their grandparents, and then we were able to get them into a reliable daycare. So while I feel really lucky, I know that there's dozens of other families that were not able to find care.
And the government does have resources for people looking for help with childcare. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services runs a website called childcare.gov. You can click on the California section to learn what might be available. And in addressing the fentanyl crisis, the Sacramento area will have a new task force aimed at prosecuting fentanyl dealers. The DEA is partnering up with local law enforcement and district attorneys to make it happen. And Kaiser announced today that they are launching a new Narcan program across Northern California. You will be able to get Narcan without providing a reason. Narcan is used to reverse an overdose, but people who use it must still call 911. Kaiser will make it free of charge in the emergency department. A doctor explains how the program works.
Also, however, if patients are here or their family members are here at our department and they want free Narcan for whatever reason, we are happy to give it to them, no questions asked, and also train them how to use it. We talk about the signs of an opioid overdose and how to use Narcan if needed.
Dr. Ludlow also says that they will be giving Narcan to those registered in the emergency department at Kaiser, but are now offering this to anyone not registered in hopes of saving lives. Next, on To the Point, turning a dangerous area of Sacramento into a place where people want to live, work, and shop. All right, we always like to end the show with what we're working on, and this week I head out to South Sacramento's Mack Road. It's an area that has its issues with crime, but several people are invested in making it a better place where people want to live, work, and shop. And one of the key investments starts with the kids. So I'll take you inside the only community center around for miles. It's a place where kids can get help with their homework, learn a new hobby, or simply just looking for a meal.
The biggest need for our kids, along with food, of course, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to feel important.
This Thursday, we introduce you to families and business owners who say that Mack Road is a place of hope and opportunity. Kids heading back to school got free haircuts today, courtesy of the Mixed Foundation. Mixed Foundation is a nonprofit organization committed to help, quote, those who most need it. In the event, they included free haircuts, school supplies, and everything that kids needed.
We want to make sure that students are prepared to go back to school and equipped with everything they need to be successful in school.
There's a lot of parents out here that's really struggling and that can't afford a lot of things, so this is why we have these events.
And more than 300 backpacks were given to students from kindergarten to 12th grade, and this was the second annual back to school event at Mixed Institute in South Sacramento. And right now, you are taking a live look at tonight's City Council meeting in downtown Sacramento. The big agenda item tonight is about creating a greener capital city. Public comment is underway right now. We will have more on the proposals to change Sacramento coming up tonight on Late News Tonight at 11. And I do want to say thank you so much to everyone reaching out, letting us know what's going on in your community. Keep your emails coming. You can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.